fed. And you feel it. You're getting sustenance from it. You're being reminded that you are not what you've been telling yourself you are as a failure. You're not a failure. You're in progress. You are a work in progress. They needed to put a construction sign out in front of your house. Under construction. Because your shit's about to change. Everything's about to change. Your perspective has to be the first thing that does change. Because until you can see it, until you cast forth a vision, write it down, make it plain, make it clear, and pursue it and overtake it. That's what you have to do. You have to have these humble beginnings. You have to plan it out. That way you have a reason to do or not do something and not be reactive. And over time, you will discover you are disciplined. You are patient. You will wait for your setup. You will not predict your setup. You're anticipating it, and when it's laid before you, you enter it. Your stop is absolutely entered, and you're not fearful that it gets hit. Over 90 days, you'll look back. How many times you get stopped out? How many times did you lose? What was your net profit? How many times did you have winners? When did the winners really work? What were the losers? Why did they fail? What time of day? What was the economic calendar like the day before, the day of, the day after, on the days that you lost? What was it like that on the days that you won? How did you feel when you lost? How did you feel when you won? What fears and concerns did you have? You journal all that. But you do not journal it in a way where you kick yourself down and make yourself feel defeated. Oh, I fucked that up. Oh, this is bullshit. I'm never going to make this work. I'm wasting my time doing this. Everything is an opportunity for you to encourage yourself, cheerlead yourself. That's exactly what your journal is for. Because nobody is going to be there to do it for you. Nobody. You get that feeling when I'm talking to you like this, but it stops as soon as you stop listening to this. When you go back to your regular world, think about everything you're doing. When you start trading it next week, you're going to be arm wrestling fear, uncertainty, and the looming sense that you're going to fail, and I'm probably going to be wasting my time, and I'm going to feel demoralized if that's the case. That's all what everybody feels when they're trading. You're first finding yourself, everybody thinks and feels just like that. It's normal. And you're looking for some way to avoid that. And I'm telling you, you got to walk right up to it, flick it in the fucking nose and say, I'm not deterred by you, bitch. I'm here for it. And I'm walking through you. And once you do that, with fear of missing out, lack of discipline, impatience, greed, what do you got left? All upside. All upside. Does it mean you'll never have a losing trade? No. It just means when you do, it's fucking nothing. It's a paper cut. Who gives a shit? But when you make everything about image and make everything about stats and keeping up with the Joneses and outperforming this person and that person, you have made and elevated trading to a level that's not required. You already are compounding the difficulty in something that need not be added to. But social media does that. It creates competitions when there is none. It presents drama for you to worry about when there shouldn't be any. Humble beginnings, folks. All of you have the opportunity to have that now. Even if you've been profitable. Even if you've been contemplating, trying to do something new with the stuff I teach, and you're already doing things on your own, doing something else. Try this model. Try this approach to doing it. Studying it. Seeing how people can grow, develop with the least. And I want to inspire you to think about where you might be next year if you've done this project with yourself. If you walk forward with it for the next 90 days and you submit yourself to this process. That doesn't mean don't do everything else that you're already doing, but at least try this. Just try it. That's all. Just try it. And see what you learn about yourself See what you discover about how you view price and how you look at yourself in terms of KPIs. Okay, these measurement statistics that help you determine how well you're doing in progress. And imagine what you'll feel when you get to the point where after 90 days, you can start doing it with 2 contracts. Do that for 2 weeks. And then after 2 weeks, if you're successful doing it there, then go to 3 contracts for 2 weeks. If you're finding the same routine and rhythm there, after those 2 weeks, go up 1 more contract. And you do that continuously until you get to 10 contracts, and then plateau there and spend a few months doing just that. At that point, folks, you literally are at a level that you're in the upper 5% of traders. Like, you are doing numbers and consistency that any institution would fucking love for you to be able to prove that you can do that with their funds. Over time, it grows more and more and more, but you have to allow for the incremental growth. You don't want it right now because it's uncomfortable. It takes a long time. It's like anybody wants to go to a gym and work out. Maybe over the holidays, they put on a couple pounds and they want to get shredded because spring will be here soon. They want to start working out. They might join the gym. They might go there for the first few times, and all of a sudden, I ain't going to the gym today. I got something else to do. And then all of a sudden, they're not doing anything except for paying for the gym membership. And they're gaining more weight, getting more unhealthy. And the whole time, they're lying to themselves in the mirror. It ain't that bad looking. My love handles ain't that bad. My shirts feel a little bit more tighter than they used to be. It's all right. Who cares? I'm married, right? Yeah, make all these excuses. And that incremental movement away from your goal, you're willing to accept those, but you're not willing to put in the effort to do these incremental gains and goal movement further away to a goal that's worth holding and striving for. It's funny how that works. It's just like when you hold your trades that are losing, you're willing to hold it. You're willing to hold on to that trade that's a losing trade. You know it's a losing trade, but you just can't let go of it. There's something in you that's holding you back from just taking that loss. You need to discover what that is. I don't know what it is. I'm not equipped to be able to do that because it's different for all of us. Me, when I was new, I didn't want to let go of a losing trade because I wanted to be right. Because everybody around me said I was wrong about trying to attempt it, to think that I was going to be better than anybody else in our family, to feel like I was going to be a success story, because everyone around me was a failure. My friends, my family members, none of us except for my aunt, one aunt, she was the only one that graduated high school. Well, my uncle, obviously, he went to college and got a business degree. Later on, finished it in his 40s and was managing a KFC. Then tried to be a stockbroker and failed. He was the one that made the money in the 83 with sugar. About the condominium down in Ocean City. He was the one that was talking to me when I was 14, 15, 16 years old. The only thing I was interested in was martial arts, and he was trying to tell me, go to school, get a good job as an electronic technician, and learn how to trade futures and options. Michael, the richest people in the world trade futures and options. And at 14, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck at 14 years old about that. But I was being groomed. I was being groomed back then. Everything was being laid out in front of me, and I was resisting it even then, which is understandable. But you're being presented the same thing right now, and you're going to make excuses why you don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I'm just going to stick to his silver bullet. This is better to do that. This is silver bullet. Silver bullet is simply a run to a fair value gap towards a liquidity pool. That's it. That's a silver bullet. Because it gives you every ingredient to a trade that you're looking for. That's why I dubbed it silver bullet. You're all looking for a silver bullet way of trading. And I thought to myself, you know what? I say that so many times, critiquing their expectations as a new trader. I'm just going to create that model and we'll call it that. And that's why silver bullet was named that. It answers all your fucking problems if you just do everything I'm telling you to do and avoid the things I tell you to avoid. If you do those things, it answers everything for you. It gives you a time when to trade. There's no guesswork. It's going to form in that hour. It's going to run towards a liquidity pool that's obvious to you if you study inside that hour. What is it gravitating to? What 15-minute or hourly high or low is it reaching for? Who gives a fuck what the bias is? If it allows for at least where you see that fair value gap forming, if it's allowing you at least 15 handles, it's tradable. And it need not have the 15 handles to reach to that pool of liquidity it's aiming for, or you believe it's aiming for. It just gives you the opportunity to take 10 handles out. I'm afraid to hold to the targets. Okay, don't hold to the target. Take something out before. Isn't that what a fucking partial is? Yes. Why are you arguing about it? It's money. It's 100% fucking profitable. Why are you arguing it? Why are you wrestling with me about taking fucking money out of the marketplace? Why are you arguing about being fucking paid? Do you go to your boss and say, fuck you? Fuck you. You will not pay me on fucking payday. I'm not taking it today. I'm going to fucking wait until next week. I'm not cashing my fucking check, bitch. Stop trying to give me money. That's the same mentality you're fucking having wrestling with me. I don't want to take partials. That's stupid. Okay, stay fucking broke. Stay a fucking unprofitable student. Stay an unprofitable fucking trader. Keep doing shit fast backwards and fucking doing it wrong. Why are you watching me if you got it all figured out? Why the fuck are you trying to watch my shit if you got it all figured out? You're going to wrestle me about taking partials. It's a crutch. It's to help you grow so that way you can do full pools. Full pools are when you get into the trade and you hold for your targets. No partials. That only comes when you have conviction about what it is you're trading. You understand you as the trader. You're not worried about doing it wrong. You're not worried about getting stopped out. You're not worried about anything. You trust that model's delivering. I'm afraid that most of you do not want to accept the fact that it's going to take you a long time to get to that point. Far much more time than you think it will when you first start. And that's a normal feeling. That's a normal experience for people to do that in trading. And only the people that wrestle themselves into submission say, you know what? Maybe this is going to take a little bit longer than I wanted to. Maybe it's going to take me a little bit longer to start taking bigger money profits out of the marketplace than I expected it to. But this is a worthwhile engagement. And if I'm not going to do this, what else am I going to do? Am I going to be able to make more money from the job I'm working right now? Are they going to give me $200 more a day in pay? Is your boss going to give you $100 more a day because you need it? Because you need it to make ends meet better than they meet right now, or for the first time? Fuck no, he's not going to do that, or she. They're not going to do that for you, folks. So you have to do what? You have to take the initiative to do it on your own. And the only thing I'm submitting to you is just another way of doing it. It isn't the only way. It's just one simple way that my son himself at 18 years of age, with no experience being profitable prior to, you're seeing it happen right now. Real time, every single time there's an adjustment in his equity, I share it with you. We logged into his account, showed you his day-by-day progress. It's absolutely undeniable. It's real. It's not faked. It's not a rented MT4 server. He's making it work for himself. And while, yes, $2,500 is not a lot of money, but guess what? To an 18-year-old, it fucking is. It is. And what happens if it amounts to, maybe with losing trades, he only does that over the course of a full month? Is that failure? I would submit that it's not. I wouldn't call that failure. What happens if his strike rate drops down to 50%, but he's still profitable $1,500 a month? Is that failure? No. But some of you would criticize that and say, oh, it's only 50-50. But you're not making any money, you're talking shit. That's what social media does. It invites assholes to communicate with you when it was unsolicited. It makes an invitation to ignorant people that are only interested in seeing you become miserable like them. You're going to discover when I leave in November that your best learning comes after that. Doing everything I told you to do and avoiding the things I told you to avoid. Your best learning is coming after November 11th. You don't see it. Some of you are fearful, and you're like, I don't want you to leave. I want you to stay here. I'm encouraged by you. Blah, blah, blah. That's the problem. That's the problem. You're all comfortable in the nest. I'm kicking you the fuck out of here. You're not supposed to live with me forever. I'm not supposed to be with you forever. I taught you how to do it. I taught you how to fly. And when the mom and the dad says it's time for that eagle to get the fuck out of the nest, they boot their fucking ass out. Let me tell you a quick story, and I'm going to end it. Eagles are very interesting animals. Very interesting animals. You know, they have their vision. They have telescopic vision. That means they can stand on one field goal post of a football field and zoom in on a quarter, a 25-cent piece in the US currency. They can see that laying on the ground at the other end, 100 yards away. And people say there's no creator. Well, an eagle, it goes through periods of its life where it looks for a mate. And when it finds a mate, it mates for life, one mate. It doesn't go around and whore around with anybody else. It finds a mate. And the female eagle, what she'll do is she'll fly around and see if the male eagle's going to be committed to stay with her. And eventually, when she feels like she is willing to test his ability to be the father of their eaglet together, she'll go down and she'll pick up a branch or a twig, and she'll fly out really, really high. And the male eagle will fly up there with her. And then what she'll do is she'll drop that branch. And that male eagle better get his fucking ass down there and catch that thing before it hits the ground. If it hits the ground, she turns him away. She will not mate with him. What is that practicing? Because in the beginning process, when the eaglets are at the point of almost ready to fly, the mother will shove one of them out to show the other eaglets and the eaglet itself that it needs to learn how to fly. It's not meant to live in a nest. You're not meant to be under my tutelage forever. You're not meant to be in the nest of a demo forever. You have to start doing things, and it's going to be scary for you to be out there where you can hurt yourself. But the male eagle, what he does is he lets that eaglet drop for a little while. Then he swoops down and catches it before it hits the ground and kills it. Carries it back up to the nest and shows the mother that, yes, you picked the right father. I got us. I got our children. But that eaglet has now been introduced to the idea that I better flap my fucking wings, because what happens if dad doesn't get to me in time? They have to do what? They have to trust the process of being uncomfortable and eventually finding their wings and flying. At some point, one of those eagles will probably pass away before the other. And many times they go through depression and they stop flying and they start walking around on the ground. Their claws start becoming disformed, and their beaks, they start molting, where they get this like cast of calcification around their beak. And many times, unless they change the way they're doing things, they'll die in that state. Other eagles will come and they'll drop food down to them because they're no longer flying in hunting court. And people say there's no creator. The other eagles encourage the other eagle that's in depression to beat their own beaks against the rocks to break the calcification off and take flight. The ones that don't want to listen to sound advice and logic and encouragement to follow the process, that they're not supposed to be walking around on their claws, they have wings. They're majestic, beautiful creations and creatures of the world that God's presented to us, a bountiful testimony of creation.